Intermittent fasting is a really great tool to help you achieve your weight loss and your wellness goals, but the first place that you need to get started is determining what your actual intermittent fasting schedule is going to be. I mean, there's so many choices. There's 16-8, 24, 12-12, but which one is actually going to be best for you, your lifestyle, and your schedule? Today, I'm sharing my 5-minute, super simple, easy intermittent fasting quiz that you can take today in order to determine what's going to be the best intermittent fasting schedule for your goals in today's video. All right, guys, if you're new to my channel and you don't know who I am, my name's Autumn and I'm a certified clinical nutritionist with my master's nutrition human performance. On my channel, I'm typically talking about the science-backed and holistic methods that you can use in order to achieve your wellness dreams. So if you have a wellness goal in mind, make sure you subscribe. Okay, so I'm going to be taking this quiz along with you today so you guys can see how it works. So I have my computer here, but if you want to follow along, I'll have the link to the quiz just down in the description below so you guys can follow along. Okay, so let's start taking this quiz. Okay, number one, how would you describe your activity level? Now, to give a little background on why this question really matters is because if you are going to be a lot more active, like one of these answers is a professional or college level athlete, your nutrient needs that you need for that day are going to be a lot different. So you're going to actually need generally more protein or just generally more food, but specifically, especially the protein component in order to maintain your results as a professional athlete or as a college level athlete. And for most of those types of people, you're going to not be able to fit all of those needs within a smaller eating window. So this first question is really important for determining your eating window and how long or how short it's going to be. So personally, I can vary between an athlete to super active. Obviously not a college level athlete, obviously not a professional athlete, but I do often go through cycles of training for different triathlons where my activity level is going to be a lot higher. Currently, I'm not training for one, so I'm going to just put super active. Okay. Have you ever experimented with intermittent fasting? This question also hugely important because the more often you use intermittent fasting, the more metabolically flexible your body will be, which means that you're more easily able to shift back and forth in between using fat as fuel or carbohydrates as fuel. If you're brand new to intermittent fasting, this is where it might be a little bit tricky to start off with a longer fast because your body hasn't yet gotten used to using fat as fuel. And when you're in the fasted state, that's when you're using more fat as fuel than carbohydrates. So if you're brand new, then you'll really want to make sure you're easing into the process, which is what this quiz is going to be going over. That way your body has time to become metabolically flexible and utilize fat as fuel. Okay, so obviously I use intermittent fasting. Go figure. Okay, so I usually use about a 16-hour fast. Okay. How often do you like to eat, snacks included? Now this question really goes back to that metabolic flexibility concern. If you're not very metabolically flexible, then your body might have a more difficult time having gaps between meals because it's during those gaps between meals that our body is going to shift back into using fat as fuel. So if your answer for this is something like, I can't think of when I'm not eating, this is a big sign that your body needs to really readapt into using fat as fuel before diving into a longer fasting period. And this is where addressing the actual meals you're eating is really important and focusing on those blood glucose stabilizing foods. And if you guys haven't checked it out yet before, I do have a free download down in the description below. I'll have that linked as well, where you can download 7 free, highly satiating recipes that are direct from my complete intermittent fasting bundle. So after you take that quiz, you can check those out to help boost satiety and help along with your intermittent fasting journey. Okay, so for me personally, I'm more of a 3 meals a day type of person. I'm pretty consistent with that. You guys have seen sometimes in my Instagram stories, though, I do need to have 2 meals, but that's more of a rare occasion. Okay, do you have a sugar tooth? This again harks back to that metabolic flexibility concern. So oftentimes a sugar tooth is more of a physiological concern than a discipline concern, which yeah, there is that component of discipline as well. But if you don't address that underlying physiologic component where you're eating until satiated and you're stabilizing your blood glucose levels with the right types of foods. So if you're not addressing that, then that'll just cause those dips in blood glucose and make it so that your hunger and your sugar cravings are going to spike. So if you have a sugar tooth, this is likely a big sign that you aren't really metabolically flexible yet. There's other reasons why you might as well, which I've done videos on in the past. So this is why this question is extremely important when determining your intermittent fasting eating window. But I am definitely more of a savory person. Okay. When do you usually eat your first meal? So in the morning, we generally have higher levels of the stress hormone cortisol, which actually makes it so it mobilizes energy from our own stored sources. So theoretically, we shouldn't be feeling super hungry right when we wake up. And it's because of this just natural mechanism within the body. So if you are feeling really hungry, then that could be more of that sign of the metabolic inflexibility. And that's where those shorter fasts will come to play, along with making sure you're really addressing the food component during your eating window. I used to like to eat a little something before my morning workout. That's something that I used to do pre-intermittent fasting, and I thought I could never incorporate a fasting period. And I was hugely not metabolically flexible because I was used to eating so frequently throughout the day. But now after using intermittent fasting for quite some time, I'm not really hungry for a while. So I'm going to put whenever I start to feel hungry in the morning. Okay, what does your social life look like? Now, the reason why this question is really important is because you have to make sure that whatever eating window you choose is going to reflect your actual lifestyle. Otherwise, if you can't maintain your normal lifestyle that you really enjoy and it's part of your life, it's just not going to work long term. You'll end up getting over it because it doesn't fit your life, and therefore you won't get any of the benefits anyway. So for me personally, I'm laughing because anyone who knows me knows that going to the movies is a big night for me. I also will usually grab dinner with friends or family a couple of times a week, but I would have to err more on the side of grandma. Okay, how busy would you rate your weekly schedule? This question is really focusing again on that lifestyle component. If your schedule is super busy, then having a lot of meals that you have to plan throughout the day wouldn't really make sense, or it might not even really work for you. In fact, a lot of my clients who do run really big companies or who are like big executives or CEOs, having a smaller eating window generally is going to work best for them because of this exact reason. Limiting the number of times that you have to go and sit down and eat for this type of situation is actually really useful. But personally, I've got my schedule down, so I'm going to put things can get hectic from time to time, but I mostly have a good schedule. All right, answer. I was going to do a drum roll, but popped up. So makes sense for me. My intermittent fasting schedule is 16-8. So to read the results here, it covers a lot of what we're going through in the quiz itself, but you're likely very active or possibly even an athlete, which means that it's important for you to get enough protein for your meals. Because protein is so highly satiating, meaning it's easy to get full on protein quickly, you may want to opt for a 3-meal structure within your 8-hour eating window. A 3-meal structure makes getting enough protein in to support your active lifestyle much easier. Plus, an 8-hour eating window allows you to still maintain a breakfast, aka breakfast, lunch, and dinner schedule. A win-win if you're a foodie and you couldn't imagine living without your scrambled eggs or superfood pancakes breakfast. But if you're brand new to intermittent fasting, this doesn't mean you need to jump straight into 16-hour fast. You can ease your way into intermittent fasting by starting off with a 12-hour window and working your way up from there. So as you can see, there's a lot of different variables that are really important for determining what your actual best intermittent fasting schedule will be. In fact, let me know in the comments below what you guys ended up getting. Really curious to see how everyone's results popped up. Now from here, if you're wondering how you can actually get started with intermittent fasting beyond your eating window, I recently shared my 7 super important tips for intermittent fasting for beginners with this video right here. Also, if you're new to my channel and you love the science-backed information, make sure you subscribe right here. Come out with new videos every Tuesday and Thursday. All right guys, thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in my next video.